Back at it again.
Welcome back, Adam. Good to see you again.
A client of mine walks in and goes, "Oh my god, balloons! I can't be around balloons." And she like closed her eyes, and I was like, she passed out literally on the road. I was already halfway across the road before I remembered that, like, if the door closes behind me,
You're locked out.
yeah, I don't have my phone, don't have my keys or anything. He comes out of the car, like the boyfriend, he's like, "Oh, what happened?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. She just hit the floor." Like, if anyone was watching us at that time,
Are you dodgy?
yeah, that would have been like, "Are you trafficking humans?" So we got, trying to get him to contact them. Yeah, and then all I hear is a big, he's just talking, just having the crack. And he sounded the crack is on. He was like, "Oh man, I can't see." I started laughing. I'm like, "What do you mean?" I looked up and he's real sweaty. I'm like, "Oh my god." All right.
Hello.
Welcome back, Adam. And
Another day, another dollar.
thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, last episode we talked about the book "Could This Be Magic? Tattooing as Liberation Work," where I had a massive fail and forgot the author's name.
It's nice to just go ahead and try and butcher it.
Yeah. So the name of the author is Tamara Santibanez.
Santibanez.
Yes. And it's such an incredible book. It actually inspired me to sort of look at tattooing in a different sort of perspective,
So was there any source of inspiration for you then?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about it, So the core idea behind it is that tattooing isn't just about art. It's a powerful, emotional, and sometimes healing practice that can help people reclaim their bodies, process trauma, and express identity, viewing tattooing as a form of liberation work, social care, and emotional labor.
Nice. So good spiel. I like it.
Yeah.
So you would say that, like, these are kind of things that you felt within the book? Like, is this things that rubbed off on you by the end of it?
Oh, absolutely. Because like I strongly believe, like, some sort of already, like tattoo artists often act as like informal therapists.
Yeah.
When I'm doing a tattoo, they're of course going to trauma dump on me about like any sort of situation that's sort of happening in their lives.
Or is happening, I imagine. Yeah.
Exactly, and the reason why they're getting a tattoo and so on. So they hear so many different stories through tattooing, and like whenever somebody's sharing their sort of like experience and what sort of like inspires them to get the tattoo and so on is I find it very honorable, like I'm honored to be there, to do the tattoo for them and to hear their journey, and through that, you sort of learn quite a lot through it too,
Oh yeah.
But
It's a very personal experience getting a tattoo, right? I don't want to say intimate, but it's along the lines of you're in a kind of one-on-one scenario and it's only really just you and the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
It does make sense that, you would be more open to talking about these kind of things.
Oh, absolutely. And it could be something so lighthearted as like, "Oh, so what's this tattoo from?" It's like, "Oh, it's from like my favorite video game."
Yeah.
And then they proceed to tell you about the video game that they're getting. And it's like, "Wow, that actually sounds pretty cool. I might play it," And then
suddenly something that's contextless for you as an artist is suddenly something you're understanding from their perspective and their point of view.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the main reasons why I started to, like, any sort of spare kind of stencils I have left over, I started putting on my wall, and I could tell you the story behind every single one of them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because like I obviously ask about it, like I know about the client, and it's like, wow, like it's just embedded in my head.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you think you remember everyone you've ever tattooed?
Not everyone, of course, because like sometimes people are in there just strictly for the tattoo. They're not going to share anything, it's literally just in and out. It could be something super simple, like maybe a bit of writing or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, fair enough. I'm just here to do my job, with this client. So I'm always like looking down and doing register their face as a result, because I'm always like
You
looking
should
at the
put
cut.
it work, yeah.
Exactly, and it's because it's like so quick, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's just another thing. So sometimes you do forget situations like that, but if it's something more detailed, a lot sort of like
Yeah, more
bigger,
meaningful.
yeah, yeah, then it's like, oh, okay, you kind of, it's hard to let go of that,
Yeah,
you
you can't get
know.
rid of it. Joe, here's an interesting one, just to completely off the bat.
hmm
Do you think you could put an estimation on how many tattoos you've done?
Oh man,
I mean, it must have been insane amount.
I actually do have a folder of like all my portfolio work I've done since the beginning, and I think it's reaching up to 5,000. Yeah. Well, like I don't take a photo of every single one. I did go through a phase where I was like, I was in a different sort of headspace. I was like, oh, I'm only going to take photos of the ones that I want to
That
kind
are
of
really,
post up, but then it's like, no, that shouldn't be the perspective. It should be viewing through that, because like every tattoo should be special. It should
Absolutely.
be meaningful. Um,
So that, I mean, the least amount is 5,000 then, so it's 5,000 and more.
yeah, at least.
It's insane.
Yeah, the tattoo process itself can be a coping mechanism and a simple form of like healing.
Oh, yeah.
And we do see that pretty much on a daily basis. People like overcoming, like any form of like abuse and like, yeah, like a negative sort of like relationships, and it's like, it's like a symbol that like you overcame that. And, that, will act as like a constant reminder that you are
It's a little bit
strong.
of history, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. But like the book also proceeds to talk about, many clients carry the trauma in their bodies, and tattooing interacts directly with this.
Oh, yeah.
Strongly believe that. And then being trauma informed means understanding that many people are triggered by body-based experiences, and that tattooing can help, but it can also harm if handled without care. And I've seen, a few sort of clients in the past sort of came to me as, for cover-ups, and how like the person kind of like neglected, their tattoo. And there was a story actually of like one client, she was getting, like I was in her like neck tattoo, and we started it, but we never got it finished, and she didn't come back, and I was like wondering why. And then literally about a year later, she was getting a tattoo by one of the other artists that work with us, and basically, she got something like super small. I had a chat with her and was like, well, like, are you going to, yeah, and you're going to get your like neck finished? And she was like, look, I'm actually traumatized. I don't even want to be here right now. I'm like, oh, why? What happens? Like, I started a back piece by another artist, and they went so hard and rough on me that it just traumatized me. I don't even want like anyone to touch me. Since that sort of experience, what they don't put
This for us?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like hearing that, it's just like, whoa, like how can someone be so like reckless and like neglect the person's.
It is crazy, like.
Yeah, yeah.
You could turn something that's like really meaningful to them into another version of trauma for them, which I mean is just horrendous.
The thing is, like, it might not be even tattoo related. It could be the experience that they had with it and the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And I have heard stories, in the past as well. I'll not mention too much about it, but like, hearing those, it's just like, wow, like seriously.
Horror stories like
Yeah.
you do, I mean, when you go with a tattoo artist, you're inherently giving them a huge amount of trust, right?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that can be a really hard thing to do. So if they give their trust to someone who, as you say, is spitefully unaware of what they're doing, that again just leads them to have even more issues with themselves, which I just think is horrible.
Exactly. Like the purpose of why they were there is to like help their journey, and as a result, they're leaving like just worse off. Yeah.
How horrible is that?
Yeah, exactly. But at the other side, tattooing also allows people to take ownership of their own bodies.
Love it. Yeah.
Like I've always believed that tattoos are like an extension of our own personality.
Absolutely.
Like the stories that like we've kind of lived through, written on our skin. And the best thing about that is that it's permanent, and we take that
You take that with you everywhere.
exactly, and even to the grave. Then the stories kind of die with you, which I think is like incredible. Um, but
I mean, it's just such a. I know so many people who find strength in getting a tattoo, and having something like that. And I just think it's beautiful because it is such a form of, self-expression. I just don't really get that with anything else.
exactly. But another thing that the book mentioned that, I sort of like really resonated with as well is that tattoo artists also absorb a lot of emotional energy from the client.
Yeah.
And from hearing those stories, and it might not even be about like any specific sort of story. It might be just, they're asking like loads of questions, like maybe not even related to tattoos, like about your personal life. Have you seen this movie? Have you seen that movie? And it's like they're really taking you for like a journey, like a
Yeah,
very
just in discussion alone.
yeah, and it's like you would feel drained and burned out without even realizing why, and like being like slightly like I'm an ambivert, so like sometimes I am extroverted, sometimes
Introverted.
exactly, but like those days, that I'm introverted, that it literally just
When massive.
massively, yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you're there to give someone a tattoo. The additionals around that and these discussions and stuff, that's something on top of it. If I had to do my regular day-to-day work and hold a conversation with someone, especially if it's about deep stuff, that's of course that's going to take a huge strain on you as a person.
exactly. And like, see, halfway for a tattoo, like sometimes I do feel drained, and I do want to contribute, like I don't want to seem that
You're interested or anything.
exactly, yeah. I want the person to have the as best of experience as possible. But setting boundaries is so important, and that's one of the things I teach, during the tattoo training.
Really, we should talk about another time.
Yeah. But setting boundaries is so important as a tattoo artist. Like tell the client exactly how you're feeling that time, and like look, keep the conversation short. If you can, because I want to really concentrate and giving you the best possible tattoo.
Because it's for their benefit as much as your own, really. And
Yeah.
if a client came to you with that exact same thing, hey man, I'm just not feeling like chatting today, you'd of course respect that because
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
just as you should do the same for yourself.
Exactly. So it's all about like recognizing the weight they can put on you, and sort of working with the client to sort of respect those boundaries.
Those boundaries with each other, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. So tattoo artists already do emotional labor, whether they realize it or not.
Part-time therapists.
Yeah. And some artists, like can involve disassociation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can sort of like numb out, to like inflict pain or navigate heavy client stories.
Yeah. It was
So
a natural human thing to try to push that away, really.
yeah, so like you do kind of develop lots sort of like skin like for it, and see, to be honest, another thing was like whenever I was starting getting into a bit of spirituality, that you kind of learn to block out those energies like spiritually as well,
Yeah.
but again, just kind of
Putting up barriers.
yeah, barriers and boundaries
Start to protect your stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you have a rather personal experience with that then? I imagine that's something you probably took some time to learn in your own time.
What the spirituality
Yeah,
of the things? Yeah, absolutely. And I do actually hope to talk about that on another sort of series as part of the podcast, and like touching, like, because I did dive really deep into it and then kind of abandoned it for a while, because I was all my time was dedicated towards dedicated to open up the studio. So I did just kind of, but now I'm like getting back into it.
Refinding your faith.
Yeah, and I'd love to like talk way more about it. In its own kind of like series.
Absolutely.
Like shining light on sort of different things you can learn.
Because I'm sure
Like,
spirituality within it's probably not for everyone, but I think it's great to hear a personal story about it.
yeah,
Especially if it helped you dramatically and could help others.
Oh, it did. It did help
Really?
massively. Like from my yeah. It really helped me sort of overcome a lot of sort of like issues in my life, and sort of things I've been dealing with, and like more importantly as well, like death and how you deal with it. That was one of the main things, like existential sort of crisis. How you deal with that. It really helped me sort of like overcome that sort of biggest
That's beautiful.
thing.
Hey, keep it for the episode, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So naming and supporting the emotional work can create a healthier environment, and like collectively builds a more healthy tattoo culture.
Yeah, not just between yourself and the client, but just within the studio as a whole, right?
Exactly. Yes. And but the thing is, like, no matter how hard you try, there might be something like one client isn't gonna sit well with. Like, I do have a story about that actually. A client of mine, and whenever I was in the back of the barber shop,
Classic.
he came in and was like, "Look, man, if I seem a bit anxious, it's because I haven't visited a barbershop since my traumatic experience." And he proceeded to tell me that, like, he was well, it was in England, and he basically was attacked in the barbershop.
Get out.
Yeah, he was.
Attacked in it.
Yeah, so he thinks like the barber like kind of set him up. But it was very traumatic experience for him. So he hasn't visited a barbershop ever since. He didn't realize I was in the back of the barbershop. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, man, I'm so sorry for like making you like.
Well, how could you even be aware?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not something you could have really, planned for. And it was good that he opened up and talked to you about it. Because imagine if he hadn't.
Yeah, it would just be balling it up, and
Awkward. That would be an awful.
Oh man, yeah, definitely. But another situation that I had was like we were celebrating the piercer's birthday.
Lovely.
And we had like balloons and stuff, as you do, like it's just a very traditional thing. And a client of mine walks in and goes, "Oh my God, balloons! I can't be around balloons." And she like closed her eyes. So I was like, is it like at the time I was like a little immature and was like, is she having a laugh?
Yeah,
like
she don't know how to react.
Yeah, I was like, are they just having fun with this? By saying it?
Yeah, a little bit of a joke.
But no, like she opened up and said like it's because I had a traumatic experience with balloons whenever I was a kid and developed a phobia of balloons. I was like, whoa, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I mean that's my laugh reaction. Just because it's so
minuscule. Yeah. And of course Anna, she has like tarantula at her station in the enclosure, so of course like a lot of people have
an issue with that.
Yeah, they don't mind. Like a lot of them, pretty much all of them, don't mind as long as it's enclosed.
Yeah.
But
crawling all over you.
yeah, but like I wonder about that. I was like make your clients aware before they come in.
Yeah, you don't want someone having a heart attack when they turn over.
Exactly. Yeah. But see, another thing that I can sort of relate to like this book is, carrying a conversation, and making it like interactive. Like at the beginning, that's one of the things I struggled with. Because like you always want to carry a conversation. And like I didn't really register. Like I wasn't able to read the room. I wasn't able to read the client. That hey, they don't want to talk. So another thing that I was sort of thought about was like maybe like get the client as part of the consent form to sign, like to tick the box or whether they want to talk about,
like Uber.
Yeah,
that's fantastic idea.
Do you want to like remain silent throughout the session? Do you want to talk about it? But to be honest, like since then I've kind of realized like, hey, that's not necessary. You could just be open with your
customers yourself when you're there and then.
Yeah. Like most of them are fine, like, but you get the occasional one that does just want to remain silent. But you ask the question if they're like very blunt and they don't really want.
You kind of get it from that.
Yeah, you kind of understand.
And then respecting their boundaries, that one.
Yeah. But again, for spirituality, you kind of learn to read the vibe, even like without them even saying the word. You kind of
read it, yeah.
Yeah, body language, everything, and like just from dealing with like so many customers in the past.
That's so much experience, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just know as soon as they come in. It's like, oh, okay, hello.
Well, here's one. What's your favorite type of client? Oh, after chatter, do you like somebody silent? Do you like deep talks?
Like, see, that's another thing. Just like my tattoos, I don't have a favorite.
There's no preference.
Yeah, there's no preference. Like I'll work with everyone, and plus, like my mood changes every day.
Of course, it depends on that as well, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah, like what's going on in my life, that sort of thing as well, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, so another thing I want to talk about is like the Fitbit story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were planning on talking about it last time, but so we just didn't get around to it.
I think we talked about it so much in the break that we'd imagined we'd already been talking about it
Yeah,
as we did.
yeah.
We went on for a while.
And I apologize in advance if we had already talked about this, but a client of mine was wearing a Fitbit during the tattoo, and she was it went off, during it was like vibrating or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, is that one of the smartwatches?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's actually a Fitbit. It kind of shows me, it could be a smartwatch, it shows me like the graph, like my heart rate,
Yeah.
and she kind of showed me it on her phone. I was like, "Do you mind if I grab a wee photo of that?" Because it created like a perfect sort of idea of like what happens, during the tattoo.
Yeah.
So it showed like the heart rate going up as like we're getting started.
Initialness, yeah.
Yeah, and it stays up there, so
Really?
you're burning more calories as a result of that. It's basically like, like a full day session would be like more than a day's work in the
Yeah.
gym,
There you go. If you want to lose the calories, get tattoos.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're saying.
Because your body's like so under like tense and
edge,
pressure, yeah, that like and the heart rate's going, so it's just burning a lot of calories to like help recovery as well.
Of course, because your body doesn't understand what's going on. It's just reacting to the pain.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. And you're like sweating as well, and then when you take a break, the like the heart rate just drops,
Back down again.
yeah, back to normal, and it just stays there until you get back to tattooing. And that's why like people say it's like, oh, the tattoo hurts more during like after coming after the break. It's literally just your heart rate going up higher,
Back again.
yeah, and then like you're more alert to the pain,
Oh, that's so weird.
yeah, yeah. And then during the tattoo, like you kind of like adapt to that, you climb to that level and you stay there,
There's a steady on.
So that's why like the more breaks you sort of take, the more it hurts. So that's why I'm like so cautious about trying to
Many breaks.
yeah, and try not to take too long breaks because your client gets like really comfortable with just like at that sort of resting period,
So when you get back to it, it's worse than when you started.
Exactly. And yeah, I will I will talk a bit more about like blood sugar levels, and like if they drop, you can sort of pass out as a result of that as well,
I've seen a couple of them in it.
yeah, I actually want to talk about some of those later on, just as like a lighthearted
Oh, yeah, a bit of fun. Yeah, we're not poking fun at anyone.
yeah, just keep it a wee bit more fun for your viewers. But yeah, so another thing is like as a tattoo artist, you get a lot of different subjects for a tattoo.
Oh yeah,
so many, and like you think you know it all until like another tattoo sort of comes in and they're like, oh yeah, this is
here this and this and that.
Yeah, and then you're like, whoa, I have not. Have you seen this movie? No, I haven't. It's like, oh yeah, well, this is like the like hero from it. I want to get a tattoo of, and it's like, okay, how do I know that like there's other like how many times they're portrayed in the movie, what they're portrayed as, what sort of like poses I can do with that sort of figure.
Context less for you. You're interacting with how many different forms of media that is always someone's favorite.
Yeah,
there's other you've never even been introduced to.
Exactly, it could be something like from a book, could be a video game. Oh, there's so many different things. Yeah,
that people take,
and like meaning behind different sort of tattoos. Like Maori tattoos. Polynesian style tattoos, and like every symbol has a meaning. And it's like, when somebody asks me to do that, it's like I've done tons of research into it, and I try my best to fit it around, sort of the conversation that we sort of had, but still like
it's just so much. I mean, they're right there. You're talking about the research you do. There's like another aspect to the job that you wouldn't expect really.
Oh yeah,
that you have to do so much research into so many weird things.
Yeah, and even from like conversation from with the client during the tattoo, you get to know, basically what I said earlier, you get to learn so much from it. but yeah, it's just one of those things that I didn't actually expect. But like as a result of that, you live so many different lives through like within tattooing because you discover
This is
so
the
many different
celebration of the
things.
soul, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like that's another thing that like sort of keeps it so interesting, you know.
Do you find yourself having like a more eclectic taste in like so many different things just because you're exposed to them?
A little bit actually, you know, like free spirituality, that's actually how I got into it, you know, free clients, you know, have you went to medium yet? You know, have you, you know, like, have you felt like the vibrations of this, you know, and then the star signs as well, and, you know, all like so many different things. And, yeah, that, like, I definitely take to some things
More
better
than
than
others.
others.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course, of course.
And like talking about video games, you know, it's like um, what is it like Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor? I would have never played that if I kind of went.
Yeah, and we talked about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, you know what, I might play it, and that was one of the best games I've ever played in my life. You know.
So there you go. I mean, so that I find that really interesting that you could also be exposed to so many different, I was going to say forms of media, but as you say, you find your spirituality through it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
find, I'm sure, loads of cool movies and games and stuff. I find that fascinating because it's almost like you take a tiny piece of the client with you afterwards.
yeah.
It's kind of magical in some way.
Definitely shapes me as a person, like that's for sure. But yeah, no, I'm very grateful for it. You know, like extremely grateful.
Because it's such a cool experience, I can imagine. Just
Yeah,
having that
yeah.
kind of experience. I love it. I love it so much. Much more interesting than my boring office job. I don't think that shapes me at all as a person.
Well, there's always ways of finding like ways to make it more interesting, you know. I mean, I can't speak for you, so like I don't know.
Yes, then you're.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
Well, and then see another thing is like people come to us and ask about, you know, can I get a tattoo if I'm on this sort of medication? And it's like
Oh, yeah, you're not a doctor.
we can't give a definite sort of answer, you know, to you know that sort of question because we're not again medical professionals. We can't say that, like, yeah, you can, and then it's all completely wrong.
Yeah, and then it's on your head. It's not fairing you. And secondly, why? Why would you? Why would they be asking you? Like you're meant to know all the different medications and what's okay and what's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, and all these like health conditions. It's like we would know. So yeah, but one of the things that falls under that category is actually numbing cream. So I've done a bit of research into it myself and like why it might be a bit dangerous, and it could be some of the, you know, I always tell clients like, you know, do your own research, take it at your own risk, but I can't legally recommend it just in case something ever happens, just like any form of medication. So like depending on the number creams that they use, you know, for the tattoo, it depends on the chemicals that's in it, you know, the additives. They could be allergic to something, and that allergic reaction could happen before, during, or even after a tattoo. That's why we always say if you've never used that brand before,
Just be careful with it, yeah.
patch test it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to try it on beforehand before like you come in. Maybe like a week before, just in case something does happen.
Yeah, flares up quite bad.
Yeah, and then we can't do the tattoo, you know, like even if it's like a day or two after, you know, it's like it has to be like at least a week before. But yeah, also lidocaine toxicity, and that's like that could be a thing. So I actually didn't realize like the higher the percentage of lidocaine, the more it numbs the body part and faster it numbs it. But if you go above, I think it's like 10% or like 10.5%, it starts to become more and more dangerous.
Really?
Reason being is because lidocaine toxicity, where your body starts to go into a bit of a shock. Like I actually experienced that a bit by like myself.
Really?
Yeah, like a friend of mine, she does like Botox and stuff, right? And so I was like, hey, I know you use like high lidocaine, you know, numbing cream for like lip fillers and stuff. Yeah. do you mind getting me one? Because I know
You want the lip fillers?
yeah, she has a license to get it, and she's like a registered nurse as a result of that.
Really?
Yeah, you do have to have like a qualification like that, to do what she does.
It's always crazy to the weird crossover between the medical field and tattooing, or I guess cosmetics.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're injecting things into someone's
Yeah,
body.
I'd like them to be kind of, qualified in some form.
Exactly. So she got me like this tub, right? And it was like 10.2%.
Which is above the, as you were saying, the toxicity.
Well, she says like don't go above this because like light gain toxicity, and that's where I was like, that's a thing.
Yeah, because like I didn't context this before this, I would have no idea.
Exactly, yeah. And I started doing research on it, and seeing doctors on like YouTube talk about it. And it's like it can cause like your heart to stop, and you can go into shock. You can have a seizure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. And I've never used like something so high light again before, and she was like, only hold it for about an hour. So it was like for me doing my sleeve, I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just put it at the top left corner, like the tattoo we're working on. So I wrapped it up, and then I was waiting there for about an hour. But then, I wasn't really feeling anything, because it was under the cling film, I don't know, that was really stupid of me. But I was kind of like helping Katrina like get like the stencil together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't keeping an eye on the time, and then I don't know, I just started feeling like a wee bit like almost like drunk,
God.
and then like my like one side of the brain was like progressively started to become like more numb, and like I think it was like a last sign that there's like affecting motor function. I was like, why? What the hell? Like, I didn't realize it until I realized.
Yeah. Right into like a truck. What
Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't. It was so progressive that I didn't feel it until I realized, And as soon as I realized, heart started going, it started pumping. I was like, oh no, I need to take this off. So like, here's me like cutting it, and then like as I was like cleaning the nail cream off, it was so numb. It didn't even.
Yeah, I felt like dead.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like my limb. It was so like crazy,
Inserting, man.
Yeah, and like I did feel drunk. Like something was not right.
You had it on for longer than an hour then.
Yeah, but an hour 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. Yeah, for sure.
That one.
But yeah, so it can be really dangerous if you do mess about with it. And I will say, like, take a real risk, do your research, and tell them everything about it.
Would you recommend any numbing creams these days? Or?
I can't. Illegally,
on your own,
but
sort of.
I'll say trust the chemist. Go to the chemist. Yeah, like what they sell is probably safer than what you're going to get online.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and like anything happens, falls on them.
Yeah, not thankfully.
Well, I will say take a risk, and like if you're using it, don't let me know about it. Yeah, like
don't even tell me.
For all I know, it's moisturizer. Thanks for taking care of your skin before you come in.
I like it.
Yeah, you gotta keep yourself right, man. Because at the end of the day, if I lose my license, that'll be it.
That's screwed. Yeah.
Yeah,
you have life right on yourself. That literally.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, that was a crazy story.
I didn't even know the dangers about it. Really, like I would have been the fella who just slathered that on, went to bed, and just never woke up. Like, God.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Do your research before doing anything.
Weird that you went to her ahead of time. You didn't just go, oh yeah, it'll be all right. You went to spoke to someone who utilized it before. You asked them about it. Of course, you ignored her, and
well, we just sort of thought like, it'll be fine, Yeah, so that's one of the crazy stories, and
ideal numbing creams.
Yeah, but talking about crazy stories, I have quite a lot more.
Yeah,
and this is I think this is going to be natural sort of transition into like the next sort of series where I invite customers on board. Maybe even do like individual sort of podcast, me just talking about the tattoo that I did and how it kind of went and so on. But of course, I need to ask permission. I've kept folders of all the clients that sort of like tattooed and past. Not all of them, but some like ongoing projects and so on, so whatever I can dig up, I want to kind of like talk about it.
Yeah, I imagine, each one you could probably talk at length about stuff. What I did here, what I was thinking here, how this is going to look, how I want this to look.
I want to talk about like some of the references that I've chosen for the tattoos as well, and like cover ups and how it kind of like some parts I kind of struggled with.
Some really insightful stuff then.
Believe it or not, I actually know the needles I've used as well.
Really?
Yeah, because like I have a standard sort of setup that I use for majority of like my tattoos anyway. I just pick and choose. Not brand, configurations. Yeah, so like I have like 3 vinyl liners out at all times, of 2 different mags as well. And like say if I'm doing a huge project, like a massive one, where it requires a lot of sort of coverage like very quickly, I might just have like a bigger sort of magnum out, but that's rare, so I know naturally by looking at the tattoo, it's like, oh, we use this, going to that. Yeah. I even use like round shaders, sometimes, just depending on what I'm doing, really.
Well, I don't know any of these things, but I can imagine what they are.
Yeah. So before I dive in deeper about that, it's gonna be its own kind of like series. Everyone keeps asking me, it's like, oh, have you had any like nightmare clients or like crazy stories? And I sort of thought, like, you know what, let's talk about it.
Well, these aren't necessarily nightmares, to be fair.
Yeah, so like if I've kind of
testing, or
I've kind of like listed them from like the lightest to the craziest, so we'll start off light.
So we're starting out, what's a beginner, what's a nice appetizer?
So people always like, like an occasional person, I always tell them, before they begin, it's like, hey, your design is going to be ready a day or 2 before the appointment. Well, sometimes they forget and they message you, and like if their appointment is in like a month or 2, they're going to be like, hey, do you have my design ready yet? I'm booked in like next month on this day, and they're like sometimes come at it very professionally, or it's like, hi, I've got an appointment booked at this time and that. I'm just seeing if how the design's coming along. It's like, dude, like I'm worrying about what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm worrying about what I'm doing in 2 days time. It's like, by booking in, you're entering a queue. And like I will get round to people eventually, but it's like, it's hard not to like take it like in an annoying way after
with it.
After like so many people messaging you in the past about that, so I've just created like a copy and paste message that I just send
back to
it's like, hi, your appointment was it's like, thanks for your patience, like your design will be ready a day or 2 before, but it does just get you,
I can imagine, it must be so frustrating, because God knows I know the business you get, so I know the amount of people you have. For the people who are booking in, the only context they have, of course, is their own booking. And they don't see that you're booked. Like if they have something for 2 months away, they don't see that you're booked literally every single day, multiple sessions there, all the way till that. Like,
well, exactly. Like for all they know, I could be just like sitting on the beach somewhere.
That's the join.
So that's why I just have a standard copy and paste message where it's like, just like,
just really emphasize a couple of days before.
Yeah, but you get the occasional one. Like I had like I sent that, and it's like, well, I would actually like to know whether I'm gonna like the design before I begin, or like before I go out, like commit to waiting all this time to get the tattoo. It's just like, well, I'm sorry, but that's the process. Like I don't know what else to tell you. I can't, say to my client in like tomorrow or next day, it's like, hey, sorry, you're not going to see your design until the day off because
I had to get this sorted for a fella 2 months ago.
Exactly, yeah. But then, like, say something happens, like, say something personal, like, say somebody gets sick, you have to care for them, or like, say, God forbid, I actually go out on a night out, or like, or go for dinner, or like celebrate like mine and Katrina's anniversary or something like that. That's a crime, So
you got work to do.
Exactly. So, whenever you're getting those messages, it's like, can I see the design? And it's just like, I'm trying to like enjoy it myself, or like
it takes a toll on you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like constant pressure.
But like what they don't realize as well, like I'm far harder on myself than they realize. Yeah, so like whenever I said it, I was like, oh, you're a piece of shit, Alexi. Why do you not have it ready? Yeah, it's like you're a failure. you're not going to get clients.
God, terrible. You have to
Yeah.
deal with that. I mean, for a lot of people, I'm sure they don't probably mean it as a harsh thing. But of course, when you're getting like 10 of them every other day,
Yeah.
it can, I'm imagining, take quite a toll on your mental.
Sometimes, yeah, it can be challenging, but you know, so
Part parcel.
you learn to deal with it, you know. I did actually have another sort of situation happen. It was, you know, message like, hey, can I see a design? This was on Friday, and you know, their appointment was like on Tuesday. And it was like, assuming you're off Saturday, Sunday, I want to kind of like see you design like for the weekend. You know, it's just like, yeah, the weekends are my busy days. And it's like, look, I'm sorry, you know, like I won't get around to it until like a day or two before. And then, of course, like they did actually message saying, well, I'd like to like, you know, begin before like I commit to taking time off and stuff like that. It's like, no, I completely understand, but like, you know, these are expectations that I can't really meet due to my current standards, you know. So like if the one thing I didn't mention is like they thought they were going to come in on the Monday or whatever, assuming I was open that day, you know.
Okay.
And they would try it on first, you know, and decide whether they're actually going to go ahead with the booking or not. And it's like, I know, like we had a consultation. I've explained the process to them, so I don't know what made them assume that would happen. You know, it's like literally that's a rookie thing. That's something you would do at the
Yeah, the
beginning.
very, very beginning.
Yeah, and maybe some artists, like I can't speak for other artists, but maybe they do that to this day, which is fine. Like you can,
Be acceptable.
yeah, but like it's just,
It's not, he's never offered that.
yeah, to me, it's just, it sounds impractical, you know. It's like, come in, we'll try it out, you know, and you know, on the day, if you don't like it, we'll chop and change things, you know, like it's easy enough.
Yeah.
Like, and it actually costs more time and more effort having to
Do that weird middle ground.
yeah, well, you save it, export it, send it to them, wait on a response, write out the message and so on. Sometimes that whole process takes longer than them being like, that's cool, I'll come in and we'll have a chat about the design, where it's like, hey, what do you think of this? Okay, boom, 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 what do you think of this? You know, but instead you're having to do that over messages, which you know, like what if they don't respond in time? You know, it's like they're going to wait an hour or two before you respond.
Or do you even get close to it, and then you're in the midst of doing something else.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to like stop doing my washing here and just finish this design, or like make adjustments here. So it's like, it is sometimes impractical to send the design over beforehand, you know, because then they're going to be overthinking, asking their friends and family, is it well,
think to this?
yeah, and then they're getting their input on it, and then it's like, oh, can we change this and add like this crazy amount of detail in such a tiny space? How am I meant to like actually tell them why that won't work over messages? And you know,
Also, not sounding like
yeah, exactly, and so I don't perceive it in a way that is being rude or like I'm making some sort of excuse, you know,
so much extra for you.
yeah. So it's like it's so much easier. Just come in, have a look at the design. We'll refine last week bits and pieces, and we'll go from there, you know.
I mean, it's a tried and tested technique. You've been using this exact same format for how many years now?
Exactly, yeah.
It's for you. I don't know why people expect things to change all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Maybe they're just not experienced in that, you know, so you wouldn't know. Maybe it's their first time with me. So, like, I completely understand and try to be patient as I possibly can, you know. But some days, man, you do get them, like, and then of course we're scheduled, you know, like I understand, you know, life happens, you know, things come up.
Please get in the way.
Yeah, but when you book the appointment and it's like, okay, and then they were scheduled, it's like, hey, do you mind if I reschedule? It's like, okay, what day suits you? They respond in like a day or two, and it's like, oh, do you have like any Saturdays? My next available Saturday would be like a few months down the line. It's the busiest day, and it's like, do you have anything sooner? And then like another day or two you would go by, and you know, like I've already responded to them at that stage, and then they're like, oh, my only days I can do is Saturdays. I said, well,
why didn't you say?
Yeah, why are you saying like
Leave with that?
Yeah, it's like, why are you saying like, oh, do I have any other days if you know you can't do any days? Can you not even do evenings? It's like, oh, no, I can't. You know, because I have like a system, you know, like I wake up early, you know, going to work.
Yourself stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm not dedicating an evening to a tattoo. Like I already dedicate more than enough of my time to my career.
I was gonna say, you even have a life. Some people just seem to expect that you are a literal machine. You are just literally tattooed 24/7.
Yeah. So yeah, and then like some people just begin, reschedule, you know, and like they just constantly
Schedule you up as well
Yeah.
because you're having to work it around your already busy schedule.
Yeah, so like eventually you just have to say like, look, you know, this isn't working. Let's just cancel the appointment. And
If you want, you can just rebook.
yeah, no, because what they reschedule, you know, that's the dilemma you face with those types of people. You know, where it's like you can't just
It's just
Yeah.
trust them.
yeah, so you just waste more time just replying, trying to find dates and
And then you're missing out on a session there. You could add as someone else.
yeah, and here's the kicker. Sometimes, right, this is rare you get it, but I've gotten it. It's like, oh, can I book in for this day? It's like, oh, unfortunately, that day's like fully booked, you know, but I can see if somebody is willing to like reschedule so I can accommodate you for that day. Like, say if they're heading away or somewhere for like
Yeah, they want
whatever, yeah, or like a special occasion, whatever. It's like I'll try my best, you know, but it costs me like so much time and effort to message our client, be like, hey, do you mind if we reschedule to like a different appointment date, and then back and forth to them to then
back to the other person.
yeah, to be then
repeat that again.
yeah. No, well, yeah, well, once it book in, then it's like close to their time, don't show up or reschedule. You know, it's like I literally put in so much time and effort into accommodating you for that appointment.
And they can't even be bothered to show for it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like, hey, actually, that's I realize that date doesn't even suit. You know, and then like you look at their Instagram story and they're out partying.
Doing something, yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, all right, thanks.
Because at the end of the day, it's not that they're wasting their own time; it's that they're also wasting your time.
Yeah,
Which is time for your business, which is just a huge knock-on effect. I can't believe people would be so.
But at the same time, like I can't be too hard on them, you know, because like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I could have something going on as well. You know, it's like I'm sorry, like something's came up, I can't do that.
Like the nice freaks up.
Exactly. So I fully understand, but once it just once again it just gets you, you know, like
it's so frustrating. I can absolutely imagine it. Like
yeah. Then one of the other sort of crazier stories getting down the line here is like see the way the beds are, the tattoo beds are. So it's like a rectangle metal part at the bottom, and then if the bed's like sitting like this, it's fine. But whenever it comes around like this, you have such a long sort of bed.
tip.
Yeah, vertically. Yeah, if you sit on one side, if you're heavy enough, it will tip.
It just goes down.
Yeah. So depending on how the tattoo artist has it positioned, if you like don't know that, don't register it, you just sit on it. Yeah, it can tip, and we've had that a couple of times. It is right. I literally had to put up a sign at my station like, "Hey, don't do that," but nobody sees it.
Yeah, no, until it happens.
Yeah. And then they're sitting there like, "Oh, I literally just only noticed the sign there now." Yeah, it's like, of course, you know.
Oh, bless their heart.
Yeah.
I never fall off a bed. I think I'd walk out. I think I could continue after that.
I mean, like you just laugh it off and be like, yeah, it
Just get
happens.
on with it, yeah.
You're not the first and won't be the last, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then talking about beds, so I was tattooing a client once, right? I was doing their back tattoo, and then they kind of had their arms over the chair and just kind of like leaning over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is before I started like realizing that like, yeah, you should probably wrap that part of the bed that they're leaning over to prevent more sort of wear and tear on your equipment, like in bed, I mean. They like as I was tattooing them, they were like, you know, like obviously going through it, you know,
yeah.
and I was like, you know, I felt so bad. But then like once we finished up, I was like cleaning the chair and I noticed bite marks. It's like they were literally sitting there
Down on it.
my chair. Yeah, and like literally imprint of it. I think you can still see it to this day.
Is it still there?
I think
You'll have
so.
to wait it out, didn't it?
But like yeah, it was just like it was so prominent for a long time, but like the I think it's a leather, like
Yeah,
the
like
material.
like generally worn back in.
Yeah, yeah. Over time, it does just disappear.
So this
But like,
person was just
yeah, just sitting there by, yeah, using it as like a chew toy, to help him through a session. Like, I understand, but I was so gobsmacked. Like, I've never seen that before.
it's something pretty even.
Yeah, like, how do you even like prepare for that? Like,
Good to have. You have like a bit of wood that's got leather on it. And
yeah.
you know, you see it when people are getting like whipped in movies.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Oh, wow, wow. You know what? Not a bad idea.
Idea.
That's a business idea right there, Rob. But no, we started doing the like the stress balls.
Stress balls are good.
Yeah,
ones.
so somebody's going through it, and it's like, hey, here's your stress ball. It
Something
helps you.
just squeeze on you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just don't bite my chair,
Please.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and then was one of the more sort of like recent crazy stories happened. I haven't had that sort of many like reckless clients come in.
Like thankfully.
I mean, in the past, like I did have like kind of people coming in very rowdy, very loud,
excited.
yeah, and it's like you can't determine like whether they're excited or drunk
Or high or
yeah, or whatever they're going through. But when you're talking about it, like, oh, how like you went to the bar before you came here, like we're gonna know you're drunk.
Yeah. Because you can already smell it. Though.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, exactly. And like if we smell it, then it's like, look, I'm under I'm under suspicion that like you are drunk and are under the influence, and I don't feel like
I feel confident.
I don't feel comfortable doing your tattoo, because I don't think you would be in the right mindset to be getting this.
Yeah.
Because
of course that will come back on you. Say they wake up the next day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
And then they come back to you for it.
Exactly. I was drunk, you shouldn't have done this, that sort of thing. But also, like, you'll bleed more, you're more susceptible to infections as well.
I get that mistake. My very first one.
Well, when you're bleeding, it dilutes ink, and so you're having to saturate the skin more, meaning you're overworking the skin. Yeah, I think that's what happened with you.
Well, this is my very first tattoo. Yeah, I ended up, I got it in Turkey. We got drunk the night before.
Yeah.
I got absolutely smashed. Well, came in the next day, and the woman said to me, the Turkish woman, she was like, I've never seen someone bleed so much.
Oh, yeah.
And it messed up my tattoo. I had to, that was the one.
Yeah, we touched it up. Yeah, there was like little parts missing, and that's exactly what sort of happens, you have to have like the right sort of conditions, in place before doing the tattoo. But yeah, so I like most recently, I did have a fella come in. Now we've tattooed him before, and he seemed alright. But this time around, something was off. Like literally went downstairs, opened the door for him, and he's wobbling in. I'm like, oh,
yeah, straight off the bat, that's like a lot.
He bumps into me as well. I'm like, whoa, you okay, man? It's like, yeah, just going through a lot right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a different.
It's a worrying thing to hear.
Yeah, and it's like what's going on? I'm trying to suss them out. I'm like, right, okay, keep it professional. Let's get through it. So I'm like, what do you think about the design? And she's like, no, everything's okay. And it sounds like he's depressed, but he's also like, he wobbled a wee bit, but he seemed fine as soon as he was standing.
As he got himself.
Yeah, and then once he sat down, he was fine as well. But like, it's a talking. No, he wasn't slurring, but it was like very slow, depressed.
Yeah, you could almost hell with it, like it's a giveaway.
Yeah, something's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. And he said no to everything in the consent form, and I was like, well, so how you keeping then, trying to talk to him before we even go upstairs and like put the tattoo on, the stencil on. And I was like, what's been going on, man? How you keeping, and he was like, yeah, fine, literally just out of the hospital. I'm like, okay. Hope you don't mind me asking you, like,
what's up with that?
Why were you in hospital? It's a heart thing. Like, okay, sorry, man. Like, I said, he had yours. Like, about to tattoo you right now. I need to know what like sort of heart condition. Like, were you like there for just a random test, or what's going on? It's like
we spoke earlier. Your heart was crazy during the tattoo.
Yeah,
so like
low blood pressure, and like it's beating very slow, and it's like, right. we can't tattoo you.
So yeah,
You
that's
know,
what they said.
yeah, like you're probably on like blood thinners. Like, are you taking medication? Like, yeah. Are they a blood thinner? Yeah, it is.
So
It's
there we
like
go, yeah.
you can't trust the consent form. You need to suss the client out. You know, it's like, wow.
At least it
okay.
covers your bases if he did end up coming back with
Yeah.
something.
I was like, well, how'd you like, man, I feel that, like, you know, I had to convince him not to do it. He was like,
Yeah.
man, I've been waiting so long. I really want this. You know, I'm like
Which is
trying to talk him out of it, be like, I know, like, I'll keep you right whenever you want to book in again, you know, but like, we just can't go ahead with this.
Which is, when you think about it, you're literally arguing yourself out of money.
Yeah,
How much is that? Did you're looking out for the client that much?
exactly. Yeah, and that was one of the points I made as well. It's like, you know, like, I want to do this for you just equally as much, but like, it's just I don't feel right doing this, you know. And I was like, how'd you get here? And it's like, I walked. I was like, you walked in this state?
That's insane.
Or do you live close by? He's like, yeah, like, you know, maybe 10-15 minute walk. And it's like, okay, we're calling you a taxi. Look, instead of paying me, pay the taxi man. You know, do you have
Get
cash
yourself
with you?
up and see it.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I do. So I phoned the taxi. I explained what was going on. They came and collected him, and I see him getting up and like walking out. He was wobbling, near fell and hit his head against the taxi.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, man, like, I'd literally had to walk him out halfway. You know, sort of make sure he's like all right. You know. And he dropped something as well, and that's why he went like near head
down into the taxi.
like nearly, you know. I was like, holy shit, you know, like, that's crazy. As soon as he got in there, it was just like a sign of relief. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, that's not my responsibility anymore, you know.
I mean, that could have been so bad, really, when you think about it. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and one of the points I sort of made earlier, you know, like, if I was like one of the tattooers that just didn't care,
Yeah.
you know, that what would have happened, you know?
Liabilities would you be under for that?
Exactly, like, that is why.
I think you did the right thing there. Like, that's great. It's just another sign that you should, you know, you keep your clients right. You do well by them.
Well, like, it would have been so easy for me to dismiss that as like, oh yeah, you're drunk, you know, get out, you know. I was just being rude to him, you know. But like, no, like, but talking about drinking, I had another client actually. So he came in for you know, like, a sleeve, and like, it was a big session that we were doing, and everything started off great, you know, like, we're carrying on, and, you know, doing the tattoo, right? And then he comes out off the lunch break, right? And he brings a can with him, can of Dummy Kitty. And I was like, oh, dude, like, is that like a energy drink or what? And he was like, yeah, Dummy Kitty started doing an energy drink. I was like, oh, right.
Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either. I'm like, right, okay. Are you sure it's not an alcoholic? He's like, yeah, it's not an alcoholic. I'm like, right, okay. We're ready, like, halfway through the session, and like, you know, we're getting there. Like, you know, we're you know, so like, I don't know. I don't.
What's the proper thing to do here?
Exactly. So I was like, right, whatever, just like, have maybe one count, whatever, you know, even if it is alcohol, it's not really going to do much. It's WKD at the end of the day.
Percentage,
Yeah. And then, you know, I was just doing my job, and then like, we finished up, like, he went home, I went upstairs to clean up, and then checked the bin. 3 cans. I think it was 4% alcohol. Yeah, 3 cans and a shot glass thing. You know, like, we bottled shot. I'm like, what? Are you serious? How did he slip?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you turned around, he was slipping it.
Yeah,
shot in the back.
That's mad, you know. And like, I didn't realize he had like so many of like the cans as well. I thought it was just one.
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah, but like, he was just so sneaky about it. It was like, I did. Like, that was mad. You know?
You almost have to respect the small amount.
Yeah. I was like, fair enough. But, you know, I'm going to tell him next time he comes in. Like,
yeah, please don't be drinking.
Yeah, don't be doing any of that. Like, you know.
It's mental.
Yeah. But like, nothing changed. Like,
yeah, you still all good.
Yeah.
No issues with it.
And like, he wasn't bleeding more or anything like that. Like, everything was fine. Like, he got fine as well. But still, you know, I'm going to let him know next time. Go be at that.
Yeah, just because you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because he might think he knows how it goes, but like, you don't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Just, wow, good on him. A shot and four percenters down him.
Yeah. Well, so another sort of crazy story was, so I was like, a good client of mine recommended his friend come to me, and it was like
Love that word of mouth.
his first tattoo.
Cool, very upset.
And it was a bit of writing. So we've done a bit of writing, and it was like on one side of his body, and like treated him exactly the way I would treat a normal client, like just as normal.
Yeah, as a
Um,
human being.
and yeah, and he was happy enough with the tattoos stuff, and then I think it was like a couple of months after he messaged me, he goes, "Hey man, do you mind if we cover the tattoo you did?" I was like, "Oh right,
Weird.
like what? Is everything okay? Or like, you're not happy with it?" It's like, "No, I am actually really happy with it. I would just prefer it at the other side.
Oh god.
So do you mind tattooing exactly the same thing as you did, just at the other side of the
Close to the
body,
body.
in exactly the same place, just different side, and just covering like that tattoo with this massive piece, and it was huge. I was like, okay, dude, are you sure? Because like we could just like if you're referring to the design, we can just reverse it.
We can work on.
Yeah, like we can make it to suit that side. It's like we can reverse the design. Maybe not thinking. It's like no, I understand that. I just don't like it at that side of the body. I'm like, but why though? It would
What's the reason?
it would look exactly the same. It was foreign language as well, that we done it in, so it would have looked more or less
the exact same.
Yeah, like at the other side, like I just don't understand that thinking process. It's like, yeah, I just don't like it that side. Like, okay, that's dangerous. What if we do this massive tattoo for you and you turn around to me and you don't like that anymore? It's like, then what?
Come back at it again.
Yeah, so that filled me with like a ton of doubt, that like, dude, I don't want to do this for you because what if you turn around and say you don't want it anymore? It's like that to me, that's just like, whoa,
It's horrendous, yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing is like, I want the image exactly the way it is. I don't want any changes. Like, that's another issue because copyright,
Yeah.
what if, like, the person that, like, created the design comes at me with, like, hey, you done this tattoo. Yeah, you've, like, took this without my permission. It was just a design, like, I was like, oh, oof, it's a tricky one. So I was like, look, man, you're probably best going to another artist for this, because like I don't feel right doing this.
You could almost
it just red flag.
Yeah, if it was just things that you just knew might come back, and it was just a dodgy circumstance.
Talking about red flags, man. I should like even to this day, I was still like trying to listen to myself a little bit more, yeah, where it's like I had this client come in and he had like a triangular sort of shape, on his limb. I don't know say where it was and whatever. But he was like it wasn't centered as well. And it was like it's just a drunken mistake, he's like, can you cover this? And I'm like, because of the shape, I mean, like, yeah, we can cover it, but he's like, I want like a specific design to suit, like I want something. No, it wasn't even that. Sorry, it was so long ago. It was like, oh, just like do whatever you want, cover it whatever way you want.
Okay,
just make it easy, like, huh? Okay, right. So his appointment came around. I started designing it. I gave him 3 different examples.
Very nice.
Doesn't like any of them.
Hated them all.
Yep.
Okay.
That's great. Okay. Fuck me. So then went back to the drawing board, created a few more sort of designs, sent it over to him. No, I don't like any of those as well. Can we not do something like this? Sends me like this crazy detail thing. It's like, man, that's not easy. And no, like that's not going to work. That's not going to cover. Yeah. It's like, well, what are you doing? Like what?
Just unrealistic expectations for it though.
At that stage, I was still like kind of early on in my career. Like I wouldn't say early on, but I wasn't.
You weren't where you are right now with that.
Exactly. Yeah, and knowing how to handle sort of clients as well. But the problem was with that was like his skin was hardy. He wanted something fine line. He showed me one of the other tattoos he had, and it was fine line, and he was talking shit about the tattoo artist. So like, like it was fine once like it was done, but like once it healed up, it looks like shit. I was just like, that should have been my red flag. That I should have been like, whoa, I'm not doing this. Go somewhere else. I should have said that. I wish I said that, honestly. Because what came was just like a headache and a half. Like, so right, we decided on like a compromise eventually after I would even say maybe 12 designs. 12 designs, you know how hard
Be a
it
graphic designer?
yeah, and it's like, and you know how hard it is to do like a tattoo design to cover a tattoo?
Oh, I can imagine.
Never mind 12 of them, you know? And it's like, we're finally selling them, like, hallelujah. But what he wanted was like way more than what I had planned,
Yeah.
you know? So I was like, right, you sense of it. I'm like, man, this is gonna be a headache and a half. So we do the tattoo, and like, you know, it was perfect, you know, like had a few photo of it. Yeah, exactly. He was happy with it, like sweet,
Lovely.
done, dusted, never have to see him again. Okay. Thank
A lot of
goodness.
work, but you got there.
Yeah. Message me says that yeah, so like little skips here and there, you know, I'm like, dude, it's so fine line. It was like almost like a mandala design, but it was so detailed every single point, you know, and like I'm using a 3-1 lineage to try and do it.
Asking for it at that point.
He was asking for that design, you know. It's like, what do you want me to do about it? You know, it's like I told you that like I wouldn't heal exactly the way it did, and like your skin's type isn't right for the
type that
this the style that you're going for. Like it's just not it, you know. So of course had to spend another 4 hours like going over every single line, you know. But thank God, never heard of him again.
Thankfully.
But yeah, but wow, that was like, it's just one of those clients, man. And you're like,
yeah, just by the end of it, you're just
yeah, and never want to see him again. Like,
well, I mean, right there, that would probably a really good learning experience for yourself about what to not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, another crazy
is fantastic. Okay.
So client comes in, it's like, hey, I want to sleep. This is back in the barber shop, right? So I was like, yeah, no problem. Listen, I could start. And it was all like mandala theme, right? Done it, awesome. You know, started it. Okay, cool. Really excited for the next session. See you soon. Like, cool. Says me a wild idea that doesn't work with what he's going for.
Yeah.
You know, because like consistency is key.
Yeah, you want to keep all on theme, all on track. But
it was like a complete opposite to what he's got. I'm like, dude, that's not going to work. You know, I wouldn't really recommend it. You know, it's like, yeah, that's okay. See you soon or whatever. I was like, right, that's fine. Comes in. Already he's got another tattoo by another artist right in the middle of where we were about to work. It's like,
fantastic.
Could you not have let me know?
Yeah, you know, just ahead of time on it.
Two, like the tattoo is horribly done. And no wonder like that artist didn't even say like, hey, let's do it on another limb, because obviously
like something already going on there.
Yeah, you already set a theme for this, so it's just like, dude, like, look, this is really upsetting. I'm trying to do my best work for you, but you've just shot it in the face.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
I mean, that's insane.
And the problem is like he's not willing to budge on like the initial idea that he's having that told him wasn't going to work. You know, so I was like, okay, man, you're not literally like working with me.
Here.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you my professional advice here. You're just not working with me. He's just looking like random things. Whenever he's talking about wanting sleeves that flows and looks good as well, it's like, you want two different things here.
Yeah, you're actively pursuing two different things here.
Yeah. So it's like, what's happening here? You know, then another, like, we've done that session. And it comes in another time who's already got another tattoo, basically finishing off like the forearm, you know. I'm like, dude, I'm not happy with like what you've done with like, and what the other artist has done. Like, these look trash.
And you're now entwined with that, your work.
Yeah, so like, dude, like, I'd say dedicate this session to tidying everything up, because it's not right, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then prior to that session, he sent me like a few photos of like whenever he was working on the job site. Yeah, he sent me a few photos of it, and I was like, okay, you know, so I know what I'm heading into, knowing what I know from the couple of experience past, right? So I was like, right, but like we spent a whole day basically going over the two pieces that he's got, and then doing the shading in the background, joining everything together, so at least there's some sort of
came together.
Yeah. So at least makes some sort of sense. So he pays, we finish up. And then literally like a month or two later, I was already like building my own studio. I wasn't even in the barbershop at that stage, you know. And like I was letting all my clients know, like, hey, I'm in barbershop now.
There,
Yeah. So he messaged me, goes, hey man, just messaging to let you know I'm not happy with the work that we did last session. I feel that like the price that you charged me wasn't justified with the like
quality of the work.
yeah, no, it wasn't even that. It was like it just you know, it was like there's no difference in my tattoo basically. Like basically hitting it like that, you know, like what do you mean there's no difference? Like we've touched up everything and we done the background of everything there, you know, like what are you talking about, you know? And then I was like, can you send me a few photos? He's like, yeah, I'll send them to you now. And then he sent me the photos of the photos he sent before the previous session that we did. Yeah. So so I was like, I looked at the photos and I was like, my heart sank. I was like, holy shit, like maybe everything just faded or something. I was like,
you think you're going insane?
yeah, I was like, that's crazy. What's going on there? You know, so I was just like, that's mad. So I started typing that message and I was like, hang on, no, there's no way. I'm going to look at the previous sort of photos he sent me. Boom.
Literally.
Gotcha. Exactly the same photos he sent me. So I messaged him and was like, hey man, just having a look at those photos. Are these these are the same photos that you sent me previously? Can you send me a more updated version? I was like, yeah, I'll do that whenever I get home. Never did.
So he was trying to fleece you?
Yeah, he was trying to do on over on me, you know? Yeah.
I said you wouldn't remember what you'd been doing.
Yeah. I say, what? You know, because we didn't start something new, he assumed that like, oh, it was
away with this.
Yeah, no way, man. So like, safe to say, I'm glad to never have heard from him ever again. Like that was ridiculous, man.
An arsehole, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that is like I am impressed at the balls in him to even attempt that.
Yeah. So talking about pricing actually, so there's a bit of trust that is involved whenever you're getting a tattoo with the client that like once you do a tattoo, they're going to pay for it, right? But I had this situation with a fella, right? I think the tattoo was £140.
Okay.
So like we finished up and was like, hey, so yeah, it's just going to be 140. And then he was like, oh, I only have 100 on me here. I'll just run it up to you tomorrow. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Like, REI. But man, like the guy was like so rude and so like it just wasn't nice to work with. I didn't give a shit. I was like,
really?
Just get out.
Losing the 40 quid was enough just to not see.
Yeah, I was happy enough. Like, but I knew like how to like suss those clients out then, you know. So that now if somebody's coming at me, I'm like, I know what you're doing here, like, you know.
It was always kind of weird to me that you guys didn't take payment before doing the work.
Well, because anything can happen. You know, so like you start a tattoo and emergency comes in and it's like, oh, I have to stop, you know, or like say a client passes out, isn't feeling right, you know, carrying on. It's like, what am I going to do? You know, it's like, oh, thanks for paying for a full day session there, mate. You know, you just rob someone, you know, it's like I can't have that on my conscience at the same time, you know.
You put yourself under so much extra worry when it's you fronting the money effectively. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you're having to wait until the end to get paid, and I'm sure they mostly always do pay.
At the same time, now you know Northern Ireland is a small country. Like you know, you can blast someone online, be like, "Hey, this guy didn't pay. Be careful with him," and then everyone would be there, like, even tagging him, being like, "Oh mate, what are you doing?" You know, it's like I'm never going to his business now because I don't trust this fella because he didn't pay his tattoo artist.
I suppose that's a nice part of being a small country.
Exactly. Yeah. The work can get out like very quick and easy, you know. No, I did have another situation. It was a done tattoo and it was for a client's daughter and he was with her. You know, he put down £100 deposit.
Lovely.
I wrote it down as 10. You know, so like it was a weird one. So whenever we finished up, I think the tattoo was £300. I was like, I looked at the deposit and I was like, £10? Who leaves off £10 deposit? Like, that's really weird, you know? I was like, I didn't think about it because obviously at the end of the tattoo, I'm like,
you're just trying to get everything else.
I'm like, oh, my head's spinning because I've like done all this work. You know, I don't want to do calculations, you know? I don't want to like think deeply about things, you know? So I'm like, £10, right, whatever. So that's $290. And then he was like, yeah, okay, paid it, went home, messaged me, goes, here, man, I put down £100 deposit. Why'd you charge me $290? And I was like, That makes
Yeah, that's
sense.
suddenly a lot better.
I missed the zero. Yeah.
Is
So
it? But that's nice that he didn't just come back at you screaming.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. He was just like,
Yeah. So he paid in cash, right?
yeah,
The way like I was always told, and I know like my accountant told me this as well, and she was like, look, if somebody pays in cash and they're looking a refund or whatever, give it back to them in cash, because like or else it'll like
it's straight up your taxes.
yeah, like yeah, I'll mess with like something to do with that. And I was like, right, okay. And so I was like, look, yeah, that's no problem. Do you want to come around and collect and the what was it like the £9 or whatever?
Quid, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, no, I'm not coming down all the way there. Like here's my bank details, send it. I'm like, no, like it's in our disclaimer even
Yeah,
that like whatever
refunds are paid in cash.
yeah, no, refunds are paid in the form of the transaction that it was paid. Yeah, so if you pay by bank transfer, that's fine, because it would be on the system, it would be easier to track. Whereas like if you paid in cash, I'm sending it to you, then it's like
It's two many things. Yeah.
so it's like he's like, well, the longer you I'm gonna add £30 as interest for every day that you don't send me this. And I was like, how rude do you have to be? And like the thing was, it's like, like, why just
Yeah, what's the purpose?
yeah,
What
just like whenever you're passing by or something, just come in and get it. Like, why be so
why is
like,
extra
difficult?
stuff?
Yeah, like what? I'm get this,
Some people, it's impossible
Yeah,
to understand.
the thing was, like, the daughter loved the experience, was like so excited to come back and get more out of it and stuff like that.
Dad ruining for him.
Yeah, and I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, this is.
Because it didn't need to be any
Yeah,
more than that.
exactly. So like, why are you getting on like that? So I was like, I can't be arsed dealing with this. So I sent the payment. Guess what? As soon as I sent the payment, sent me like a message saying like, "Oh, I'm only joking, man. Yeah, I'll come round and collect it." And I was like, "Oh, you waited until I sent it to you?"
Was he joking?
Yeah, to then be like, "Oh, I'm only joking." And it's like, no, like I was like, "Take care of yourself." Blocked.
Yeah, kid,
Yeah.
What do you want me doing with that guy?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So like the daughter did end up like messaging me. I just like I was a bit weird with it, but I was like, yeah, that's fine. Can you send me photos of your tattoo heels so I can know how to add to whether we need to go back into it or like add to it. Never sent me a photo, so I think she probably discussed that with her father. Yeah, and he probably realized that I blocked him at that time, and that was it. Like, yeah.
I mean, you're better for it. Again, I'm sure because you're running your own business. There's so much you have to do to safeguard yourself.
Oh man,
at the end of the day.
Well, I actually did have another thing. Sorry, man. I've like all these crazy stories. I had a fellow I was working on like a big project with him, right? And he was like, oh, like summer season, he does some sort of activity, the summer base. And I was like, right, whatever. I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool, yeah. And the thing is, like, he always comes in and pays before he gets a tattoo. And I was like, here's just money on the table, go.
That's great.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. It's like very straightforward, very like to the ball. And I was like, okay, cool. But then something came up where I was like, I was like running extremely late. Something will happen that morning, and I'm like with a client already.
Set you back.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to get him in that day, because like I'm working a large piece as it is. I wasn't expecting to run on nowhere near as long as I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, man, I'm really sorry. Like I'm running on like a wee bit longer here. Do you mind if I reschedule you? And he was like, yeah, I booked up my activity off that day, and like today, think I was going to get this tattoo, so I could have went and done this instead. I'm expecting like a discount next time we visit. And I was like, are you serious? So then that appointment rolls around, and like you can feel the fucking hostility.
Yeah.
I was like on edge, and I was like, dude, didn't have the money on the table, so I finished up, and he's like, so how much you going to charge me? I was like, man, I do not want to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
It's like
yourself in the fit, like
yeah, it's like, dude, why do that? It's like things happen, life happens. It's not like a regular basis that this that goes on.
Yeah.
Like what? Why you have to be so like that?
Well, like it's like if he missed one,
yeah.
next time he comes around, you say, yeah, so you're gonna pay extra this time. No, it's ridiculous. Why add that extra level of complexity to the entire thing? People
Exactly.
lives are difficult.
Yeah. No, I don't want to sound like I'm trauma dumping. It's
No,
just
no,
kind of like,
no,
like
no.
some people would find this like really juicy,
I love
you know.
I hear
like,
for it.
some people like might not like, you know, what I'm talking about or whatever, but it's like that's fine. It's like
Well, this is
it's just
good to show if someone's out there and they're thinking about getting into this entire thing. I think it's good to show these kind of things because
Yeah.
I'm sure these are experiences that I'm sure nearly every single tattoo artist has went through.
Oh,
or will go through.
yeah. See, like I actually follow some pages on Instagram that tell their story. Oh man, some of them are
Crazy.
hilarious.
Like,
Yeah, like clients pooping themselves and stuff. We got like, yeah, and it's just like, okay, like that's extreme.
You're yet to have a pooper yet, right? We
No, never had it, luckily. Well, none that I'm aware of.
Yet?
Yeah. But yeah, so then I had another client, right? Comes in and he's like, "Hey, I want to book in for like a full forum." I'm like, "Okay, yeah,
Love that.
no problem. Let's get it done." So booked him in for a couple of months' time, and then he comes in maybe a month later. He goes, "Man, I messed up." I'm like, "Why? What happened?" You know? I thought he was gonna be like, "Oh, I'm canceling my appointment or whatever." Shows me his forearm. He got it done in 2 sessions, which is crazy for a forearm. Like two like a day session at a time. You know, he was like, "I thought it would heal better." Did disaster, man. It looked so bad. Yeah, it was horrible. I'm like, dude. Right, so I'm booking you in for a fix.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
Suddenly
He was like,
transformed.
"Can you do anything with it?" Basically begging me to take this on. I'm like, "Man, don't do this again. Like seriously."
Screwing up the day do you like?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, fine. I'll try my best to fix it. I don't know how
Yeah,
much
no promise.
of a difference this is gonna make, but I'll try my best with it, you know. And then we finished up the project and he was like, "Yeah, you know, like sweet, you know, I think that's the last session we had together, blah blah." And I do have like records of it and seeing like how this progression of it, you know. And then he picked him for like another smaller tattoo, you know. And then he comes in, has a tattoo on the other forearm, you know, and like it's all faded and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" Yeah, like what's going on with that one? He's like, "Oh yeah, I went to this like big tattoo artist. I think it's somewhere in Belfast. Can't say exactly who or what. But I know like this guy charges big bucks, you know." And he was like, "Yeah, you can charge me £700 for this." And the tattoo's faded as hell. I'm like, "Mate, this looks disastrous."
700
Like,
quid.
I done something similar on another fella, like a week or two ago, and like I looked at the photo, looked at his, I'm like, seriously?
Hey, you be making 700 quid.
Man, yeah, like I need to be
Yeah, you're
my
massive.
price,
That's a
man. You know, like I know the artist, you know, like the done it. I
Yeah.
know his reputation. You know, so like seeing work come out like that and seeing it healed in person,
You see him like
it's like, dude, that's bad. You're ripping people off here, man. Like that's not good. I feel like messaging being like, "Dude, like this is not wrong. Like, what are you
you don't want to be
doing?"
that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So no, I was like looking at this. That's bad. Like,
Is that another fix then?
no, I just told him like, "Look, you need to go back to that artist, ask for your money back, or for like him to finish it off."
Shops or
Like,
something.
yeah, because that's not right. And then I looked at his other forearm. He's getting laser done, and not by us.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, okay, so why did you?
What's this guy up to?
Yeah, and like, see the small tattoo that he got me to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like my own design. He was like, "I want it exactly the same like this. You know, it's just a better writing." I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, exactly the same as in the photo, right?
There's
Whatever.
nothing on you from it.
Yeah, so like this guy literally just like, you know, instead of getting something original by me, something new, he was like, "Can you fix up my tattoo? And also, I'm going to cheat on you and and like, I'm not even going to come back to your studio for laser."
That's what this
it's
sort is like. He went to you for a tattoo, went to a different guy for a tattoo, came to you for the cleanup,
Yeah.
went to get a different tattoo, and also got laser outside, and then came back to you.
Yeah.
You offer all of these.
Yeah. It's like, what?
What's going on?
It doesn't make sense why you'd be doing this, man. You know? And then he was like, "Oh, I came to you because you came highly recommended from like another person." And it's like, okay, that's great, but like, why aren't you getting anything original by me? I don't understand. But okay, go get ripped off by other artists. Go get like messed up work by other people.
We'll
It's
say,
like,
yeah.
who am I to like tell you what to do? You know?
Your work speaks for itself. Is
Mhm.
the thing about it, right? Like you, every time you go out and do this, you do an incredible piece of work.
I try my
This
best.
is long lasting, right? And they get that, and then they go somewhere else,
Yeah.
pay 700 quid for something that's crap.
Yeah, no, it is a kick in the teeth. Like,
Well, like,
yeah, yeah. I just don't understand that. And it's like if you're going to be getting, it's like loyalty is like so important, especially
insanely.
nowadays, man. So it's like it's hard to find, and like that was just a prime example of like a
A slut.
yeah,
Tattoo
yeah,
slut.
yeah, yeah. No, I was tattooing one day, right, and I go to the toilets. And there's pee everywhere. I'm like, there's pee in places I didn't even know you could get
Didn't
it.
even existed.
Yeah. And I'm like, how'd you manage that? And the smell was horrendous, man. I was like, okay, what the hell? I was fuming. I was like, man, what?
Another thing you didn't think you'd be dealing with as a tattoo.
Exactly, yeah. You know what the shitty thing is? Like, it's not the first time. Yeah, it's like you understand. It's like some little kid, comes in without his mom and like needs a bit of help or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one was like that one I'm talking about.
Like malicious almost.
Yeah, it was a grown ass man. Like he's almost elderly. I would classify him as,
No.
And then you get clients that don't even lock the door. Where you're like you're going in, you not lock the door, like the door's wide open, and then they're just doing their business. Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I'll let you just finish up here." It's like, what? Lock the door, man. Lock the door. It was.
Sally got one of the nightmare ones. I could tell you some terrible stories about working at McDonald's, boy.
Oh really?
God, you never know human disgust until you've had the experience to it, boy.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
I think it's hilarious because obviously when you started a young-eyed, bright-eyed Alexi starting out with his tattoo designs, I bet you in a million years he never thought one day he'd have to be dealing with just a piss covered.
No, but luckily we work in a good team where like some of them do take one for the teams, like yeah, and some people are don't mind getting their
hands
yeah. Whereas like I'm a wee bit more like, okay, get the mask on, get the gloves, yeah. Yeah, and then another thing was Anna came to me one day and was like, hey, just to let you know, somebody's messaged me saying that the client like one of the clients that we've tattooed has HIV. And it's like, instantly when you hear that, it's like your heart drops. You're just like, wait, what? And then you think, oh, wait, no, I know them. Like, no, it's fine. Like, it's like we still follow the same protocols as we would every single client. It's just like the only difference is that, like, if somebody says like, oh, I have HIV, it's like, that's okay. I'll just try to be a wee bit more careful.
Yeah.
Maybe a wee bit more. Yeah. Well, no, it's not even that. Like, we are thorough. It's more like I'll be a wee bit more vigilant, not to stab myself, basically. Not saying that like that happens all the time or like
just saying that thing extra.
Yeah. It's like you just kind of want to be like, oh, when you're dealing with the client, but like otherwise, like everything is exactly the same. Yeah, nothing changes. So it's like, I was like, it's like, yeah, so like, what's the virus? And then she was like, yeah, I know, right? But still, like, just in case, like, they're walking around saying like, don't go to AMAVI because like
they have HIV people in there.
Yeah. It's like, why does that matter? It's like that's not going to affect anyone else. Like
it almost feels like an attack just on that person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, yeah. It baffles me, man.
Some of you are just very sad like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I then had another client, right? He was a long-term client of mine, and gets tattooed on a Sunday. And like, I don't mind doing an occasional Sunday for people, but like, dude, I'm giving up my weekend for you, and it's like, to me, that it feels that like I'm doing them a favor. But
yeah, you're doing an extra for them, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like, sometimes I won't be able to do it. Something may come up.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm probably not realistically gonna know until closer time anyway.
Yeah.
But like I'll book in for another Sunday. It's not like it's gonna be
Yeah,
continuous or thin. Yeah. I understand you're gonna make plans to get tattooed that day, but at the end of the day, it's a Sunday. You know, you're like,
there's an
do
expectation.
this. Yeah.
That's like they'll be working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Take a Sunday.
Well, Monday. Yeah.
Well, Monday as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, it was like there's an occasional Sunday on like closer time, like, hey man, like I don't feel like tattooing you, you know, like on Sunday I'm like retired or like overwork or whatever, or like oh something's came up, you know, I can't really do Sunday. He's like, you know, he's like, oh, like, okay, yeah, fair enough, like, you know, but this time, right, which is a kicker, so I'm in there set up, ready to go, and then he's not there. So I'm like, hey man, can you like let me know if you're definitely coming today, because it's really like half past,
Yeah,
like
come on.
30 minutes past our session, and like I'm sitting here, I'm ready to go, and then he messaged me half an hour after I sent the message, and he's like, nah, mate, nah, don't worry about that, nah, don't worry, like it's all good, it's all good.
Ultimately after the fact.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like it was just like those slurs you would get knowing that, like, okay, you've been on a night out, you've not slept a wink, you know, you've ended up in someone's kitchen, like doing some things you shouldn't be, you know, and like by the tone of that message, you know, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm here, I'm like, the shop's open, like I'm
Yeah,
here.
you're literally you've
Yeah.
at a time of your day you've opened the shop.
Oh yeah, I was like, okay, but like I understand like I'm rescheduling him a couple of times before, but like, is this where I draw the line? Is it should be where I draw the line? Or it's like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's like, okay. So I did respond. He messaged me again, hey, can I get booked in again? And I was like, look, man, like if you want in again, like you're gonna have to pay a deposit.
Yeah, because he got himself in the foot with it.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna have to pay a cancellation fee for like one, the time for me coming in, setting up, you know, everything's ready to go, you know, committing to design as well. And you know, another 40 as a deposit for next session, basically. And he was there.
Which is fairly reasonable.
Yeah,
really.
but he made the point that it was like, well, you're scheduling me loads of times before, so I'm just gonna go somewhere else. Thanks anyway. It's like, I was like, well, that's fine, but I don't think you're gonna find anyone else doing the Sunday for you. But like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
It's so mean. I always really dislike when people throw that kind of stuff back on you.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't realize that you were doing him a favor, but at the end of the day, you were giving up your own personal time to do that, and
Yeah.
he just doesn't even recognize that as an act of kindness that you're doing.
Yeah.
So sad.
See, actually on that, you know, like miscommunication or whatever, or like people not understanding. I was at a bar one day, right, and seeing one of my clients I know, like, hey, you know, just having a chat and stuff like that. He rolled the sleeve up and was like, oh, you know, because like we're on night out, you know, I had a few drinks, you know, I feel a wee bit more comfortable being like, dude, what the fuck is on your arm? Like, what is that? And he was like, oh, that, you done that? And I was like, what? Whoa. And then it clicked with me. It's like he had some really bad tattoo wrap around his forearm. Asked me for a cover up, so I started it. He never came back to finish it, so it looks way worse now.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
half a patch job.
Yeah. So it's like, are you literally going around saying that I did that for you?
Oh no.
Because like that's not what,
yeah, that
like
reflects back.
Yeah, so I just told him, it's like that's not what happened. You came to me for a cover up, then you never came back to finish. So you can't say that I done that for you. You know, it's like
terrible for the old brand.
Yeah, because like it looks worse now than what it was before. But because he never got it finished, you know?
If he got it finished, it would have been much.
Yeah, I told him, it's like, look, man, like, come back, we'll finish it like any time, but don't be walking around saying I did that for you whenever you never got it finished.
Yeah.
You know? So that's another thing, you know?
There's just a million of them, like.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm sure you've got a couple more.
Yeah, a couple more, yeah, just to finish things off, you know? Or do you want to take a wee break, or already killing?
Let's bash through the rest.
All right, cool. So, yeah, whenever we're setting up a shop, right, we were doing a bit of concrete work downstairs, you know, for flooring.
Yep.
Right, and the guy doing the concrete, you know, laying down the flooring, and was like, don't let anyone hear this, right? And I was like,
yeah,
okay,
concrete, absolutely.
Obviously, you know, for the next like 48 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, right, that's fine. So we had the door locked, right? Doorbell, so whenever somebody comes up, we kind of walk around it.
Yeah, be very careful.
Yeah. Problem is, had a client came in as a group, like maybe like brought a friend with them or whatever. That friend was leaving early, during the session. Nobody's downstairs.
Oh,
Everyone's tattooing, everyone's busy.
yeah.
They come downstairs,
Plonk, plonk.
boom, literally all over the concrete, and then they just leave.
Didn't say anything?
No, they just left. Like, they literally just left the door, and I was like, okay, you messed up your shoes,
Yeah.
and you messed up the floor. But like, I told you at the beginning, it's like, watch concrete.
Yeah.
Nope, don't care. And I was like, right, fine. Left the door open. A family comes in. Yeah, tramples all over the concrete. We have to check cameras. What the hell?
Yeah,
happened?
actually check what happened.
Yeah, that was insane, man. That was a kick in the teeth. So he had to come out, fix it. He was like, luckily, this didn't set properly yet. So he was able to. Yeah, I'll share on the phone with him as soon as we're
I'm on with that other person getting their money,
Well, and I had another situation with another client that they were driving to get the tattoo done.
Of course.
They were running late. Sends me a photo, no explanation, just a photo of the car crashed. And I know that was true and wasn't like from another kind. Because I take that road every day going into work.
That's crazy. All right, I imagine. He's taking photos of the car.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh man, I hope you're okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to charge you anything like that." That's
perfect.
That's wild.
That's a harsh one.
But yeah, he ended up coming back. Obviously we got tattooed on him, but yeah, that was yeah, that was pretty wild.
And I just that's awful.
Yeah.
Only imagine. It was nice that he notified you. Could have just went on to hospital without even doing this.
Yeah. So that was by far like one of the worst things, sort of seeing. I was like, you could have lost your life, man.
Yeah.
Like that's scary.
God bless is hard.
But yeah,
it's hard.
So talking about losing lives, we're just to finish up with this episode. Want to talk about some pass out stories. So everyone always asks me, have you ever had somebody pass out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a few stories on that. By far one of the worst ones was when one of the other artists' clients, it wasn't even my client, we finished the tattoo, came out of work, and literally didn't have any food, sitting on the edge of the bed. The artist was like literally just about to get second skin, started cutting it out. Oh, and they just seen them just hit the floor. But on the way down, they hit their head off the station. I was downstairs as soon as I heard the bang.
But you heard it?
Yeah. It was so loud. I was like, oh, something happened. So I ran upstairs. I was like, oh, what happened? He's like, he fell, hit his head against the station. I don't know what to do. And then I was like, right. And then as soon as I was like, okay, right, I was trying to figure out what to do here. And literally within a few seconds of that, he woke up. It was like,
conscious.
Oh, and they're full asleep. It was like, no,
full asleep.
Yeah, no, you wrecked yourself. Are you okay? He was like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah. I was like, look, I think you should probably go to the hospital to shop because like you did hit your head quite hard there. And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And it's like, do you want us to call you an ambulance or anything? It's like, no, I paid 100%, honestly. I was like, right, okay, keep in mind, could be shock, so just like it's cool.
Like a few minutes.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's fine. Like, oh, I got it, don't worry. And it's like, oh right, okay. So she did do payment, and then he left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the scarier ones.
Really scary.
Another like really scary one that I had was I was doing a tattoo for a lady, and it was a big session, and they weren't drinking water during it. I was like, are you sure you want a bottle of water? Do you want a few sweets or anything like that?
So just keep you going.
Nothing. Literally just took it like, and it was maybe about 6 or 7 hours, to we're at this long session. And she was like, do you want me to stop? I could pick us up in another time. She's like, no, carry on. visibly in pain, obviously towards the end. And was like, right, that's us finished. Took a few photos. At that stage, she already like phoned her husband.
Was she had to come pick
Yeah,
her up?
yeah. And then this is back in the barber shop. So she was like, I'm just gonna go on the sofa and the cooler sort of space in the barber shop. Because the barber shop was closed at that stage. And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. She lay on the sofa, basically fell asleep, you know. Or looked like she was falling asleep. I was like cleaning up, like constantly just
Keeping an eye out.
yeah, looking like the door just to see like if the boyfriend or husband pulled up. Yeah, and then he pulled up, and I was already finished this out. You know, cleaned up. So I was like, hey, just let you know that's your husband there. She's like, oh, okay. You know, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Les, are you sure you're okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. You sure you don't want a bottle of water or sweets or anything like that? You know, because like it's really important. You
Yeah,
know,
so hydrate to keep you
yeah.
off.
I told her that many times. She's like, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. Literally, I opened the door for her. She wobbles out, you know, person walking past almost bumped into him, and then he was like, "Whoa, is she drunk or what's going on?" You know, that was his like kind of
Reaction.
yeah. And then she started walking across the road. Problem is, the barbershop was on the bend, right? So if a car was speeding very quickly around, yeah, that would have bumped into her. She passed out literally on the road. Yeah, and the barbershop,
Sound like a sack of potatoes.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
they just dropped. I was like, oh shit. So I like ran out. I was already halfway across the road before I remembered that like, if the door closes behind me,
You're locked out.
yeah, I don't have my phone, don't have my keys or anything. I was like, shit. So I ran back. How to like I was
Wedge something in the door.
yeah, like basically yeah. Well, it's like a wee lock, you know, so I just did that and then ran across and then like picked her up as quickly as I could before a car came.
Oh,
And then like he comes out of the car, like the boyfriend, he's like, oh, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, man, she just hit the floor. And he was like, right, okay, put her in the back of the car. And like, if anyone was watching us at that time,
are you dodgy?
yeah, that would have been like, are you trafficking humans here?
You think that a girl runs out of a building, collapses in the road, you pick her up and pile her into the back of a car?
Yeah. And the car, I'm pretty sure it was like something like Mercedes or something, so like, you know, like a drug dealer car.
Flat out Mercedes.
Yeah. It was, oh man, it was wild. So, I just got locked up. I was shaking, man.
Dude, you had the adrenaline?
Yeah, I went home, literally just poured myself a drink, and that was me. Like, I was like, I could not deal with
Probably
that.
just crashed after that.
Yeah, man, that was insane. But yeah, one of the other times the clown passed out was I was playing this stencil, and this guy's a tall fella,
Big fella.
big build, and he's just like, oh, I need to sit down, and before he could finish the sentence, he was on top of me. Yeah, I was on my knee, right, when I was applying the stencil, and then he just fell.
Full weight on you?
Yeah, I was like, oh. I was like struggling to keep him up, like trying to not let him crush me here, you know. And then he just came around. I was like, oh my arm.
You were just holding him?
Yeah. Like something out of a movie. I'm like, you all right? And he's like, yeah. Did I pass out? I'm like, yeah, man, you did. Oh, but like, luckily, when somebody passes out, they come around very quick.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like you're stuck in that situation for like
For ages.
for even a minute, you know.
It's so scary though. Like, it'd be your reaction. You're like, oh.
Then that though, like I did have a client that was like longer than a minute, and I thought I was like, right, I'm going to have to start maybe perform CPR or something, you know. So
put them in the recovery position.
Well, he was like, I was doing back tattoo on him. He's leant over the chair.
Oh, what are you meant to do?
So he's like supported, right? You know, and then he was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. And then he just started like leaning off to one side. So I kind of held him there, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, nobody's upstairs, you know. So I'm like, hello, wake up, you know, trying to get him to come back around. Yeah. And then all I hear is a big, and it went on for ages. It's like, you must have been the whole time.
Holding that in
Yeah.
the entire time.
The whole time. I was like, oh, lovely. You know?
And you're holding this past like guy in his infarct.
Yeah. I'm like, that's fantastic. That's great. That's what I signed up for.
I have to be fair, how bad some of these stories could go.
Yeah.
These aren't the ones.
Yeah. No, like nothing as bad as ever sort of happened, you know?
Yeah.
but yeah, no, he came around. He's like, yeah, it's all good. I didn't even tell him that tattoo.
Worth it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Fella.
Well, it's the same that I did have somebody cough on me once. Yeah, no, I was tattooing his forearm, right? And then he's like looking at the tattoo. I'm like, he's just getting closer and closer, you know. I'm like, okay, dude, like,
Get back up, give me some space.
yeah, and then like he must have been a smoker or something because like next thing was like trying to say something and instead he heard like a coughing in my face.
That's so nasty.
Yeah, I just told him I was like, right, no, I'm coming with the day. Like, I'm sorry.
That would be enough, yeah.
Yeah, because like the whole session was really annoying me for like moving too much, talking too much, whatever it was.
Final
And
step.
like I told him like give him prompts like, hey, let's like focus on the tattoo more. I don't want to talk, or like whatever. I'm trying to set boundaries as much as I could, but that cough was finally,
So disgusting.
Yeah, and he actually ended up owing me money as well. It's like I actually can't even pay for the session. Can I, pay another time? It wasn't for that session. It was a session that we had after or whatever, and that was a fine line for me. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So as soon as you paid,
Cough straight to the face, wasn't it? Not
yeah, like so, like whenever you paid me, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not tattooing you anymore. I think you should find like another artist because like it's just disaster.
thing was horrendous.
Like every day is something different, and I don't want to like carry on with this kind,
Is it nice that you have that choice?
yeah. Well, I mean, like, at the same time, it's like I'm missing out on business as well. If you want to look at it for entrepreneur's point of view, but yeah, no, it's like it's sometimes just not worth it, But yeah, just wanted to finish on another just kind of like a wee funny one. So I was just tattooing like a guy's wrist, right? And then he was like, he was like, yeah. I was just talking, just having the crack, and he sounded the crack his own. He was like, oh man, I can't see. I started laughing. I'm like, what do you mean? I looked up and he's pale, sweaty. I'm like, oh my god. It's like, are you okay? I didn't even realize. Like, you sounded like
you're so focused on what you did.
Yeah, he sounded so fine, like talking in conversation, and it was just like, I can't see. I was like, what do you mean you can't see?
Oh my god.
Oh wow! And then I was like, "Oh man, sorry." So I took, I saw what I was doing, give him, like some sweets and
all your donuts.
yeah. This is before we had the wee trolleys with everything on it.
Yeah.
So and then he came back around very quick after that, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened there." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's a wrist. The wrist can have that sort of effect on people. Yeah, where it just kind of."
You didn't tell me that for mine.
Yeah, well, if you go low down with it,
I was like, low down.
yeah, so like most people have like the two creases in the wrist. If you go somewhere in between those two creases, it does start to hit like a pressure point. Yeah, where it starts to like, oh no, it just chills me to like my bones. It is. I personally don't go. I would never go as far down as that. It is horrible pain. But that can make people feel really, really sweet. Yeah,
and apparently nice.
Well, yeah, like that's one of the symptoms of painting. Or like
lose your vision first.
Yeah, your vision starts to go blurry. Where it's like, whoa, what's happening? And you might hear like a, bing, like or like almost like you just been dropped in water.
Audible cue.
Yeah. Pale, like you go pale, your lips go pale. Maybe your eyes start to like shake a wee bit, where it's like
all signs it's about to come on.
Yeah, and then like start to like maybe shake a wee bit or
sway.
Yeah. There's so many different signs. It's like you just but like you just need to realize like, oh, that's not right. Something's happening.
Yes, that's like quick and deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the best way? I guess one of the main things is keep hydrated.
What to prevent?
Yeah, the kind of prevent.
How can well, that's why we have the pre-appointment advice. How to prepare for a tattoo. So as long as you keep hydrated, have plenty of food, not too much food, and just enough food to keep it going throughout. Bring snacks as well. Something you don't mind using.
Sugary, imagine.
Yeah, keep your blood sugar levels up. So like. A lot of people bring an energy drink, but that's one of the worst things you could do because caffeine.
You're shaking.
No, it actually increases your alertness. so you feel the tattoo more.
Really?
Yeah, so it increases the pain of it. Yeah. So it's like people who bring energy drinks, it's like
Just
more,
making it harder on themselves.
yeah, like a coffee or two is fine because it's not that hard, on caffeine.
Slapping a monster down.
Yeah, where it's like, what are you doing? And then even like say burn a sugar-free monster, it's like you're just asking for it, like, yeah. So yeah, just bring like a sugary drink, maybe sugary snack, and like maybe a packed lunch, like sandwich or something.
And they keep you upright.
Yeah. Maybe like a protein bar or something and a bottle of water. And because some like fizzy drinks dehydrate you more,
Yeah.
So yeah. And then like I always say just, well, I don't always say it. It's just if it comes up in conversation, it's like it's a lot on your immune system. So get plenty of sleep. Try and avoid stress. Eat plenty of greens. Like healthy diet. Leading up to your appointment. And also maybe pop a few vitamins. So really
There it is.
make sure you're healthy.
We've got tattoo artists, we've got therapists, nutritionist in there as well. It's a very multifaceted
gamer, like you name it. And sometimes even a solicitor, yeah, it is
a man of many trades. Goodness me.
Yeah. But through the career, you do have a lot of sort of like wholesome experiences as well. But I mean, they're very similar to one another. It's like you do a tattoo for somebody, and then they almost like break down crying.
That's a lesson these things happening. Of course, it's always nice when they happen.
Yeah, let's just tears of joy. Them like thanking me, and like sending me a message, showing like their appreciation and stuff. Like those little things matter.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't expect it, but sometimes like a wee tip here or there is just like, whoa, that's awesome, you legend, and then it's like, oh, here's some more aftercare, or like here's the stickers, a wee legend, or like maybe they leave and they come back, and then whenever you get that, it's like, Alexi, somebody's looking to chat with you, the lady that was just in, or like the guy that was just in, and I was like, the way, what's happened? Oh shit, you're thinking the worst. You come downstairs and then it's like they're holding like a bottle of wine for you, or like a bottle of whiskey, or like
so nice,
or like a gift voucher. Like you'd be surprised how often that happens. Like people give you alcohol, or like like we gift vouchers. Like a cafe, or like a you know what I mean, like a cafe, or it's just like, dude, come on, what are you doing? But I mean, if they're doing food or something, then that's awesome, And then like I recently had a lady that baked us brownies.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so nice.
No, I don't mean like weed brownies,
That would be better.
Oh, and and like my birthday as well. Some people remember. Like I've had clients give me birthday cakes, and they just randomly come in. It's like, here's a bowl of Buckfast, and it's like like cake. She's like, what? That's wild.
Well, my dad always said, he said, if you're gonna tip anyone in life, you tip your barber. And words to live by. I tip my barber and I tip my tattoo artist, right? That's that.
Yeah.
It's the people, it's the businesses you have loyalty to, the people you always come back to. I get my hair cut by the same people, I get my tattoos by the same people. They deserve a wee treat on the back end. And I think that's lovely that people are giving.
No, it truly like means the world, and like it kind of it's a bit like karma, like I would do that to somebody else as well. That
give unto others as you give unto yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just kind of like creating that sort of like behavior, like nurturing that with other sort of people. Whenever you receive that, where it's like, whoa, I'm gonna do that next time. I'll do it. So yeah, pass on the good karma. Yeah,
it's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's with a lovely note there for the That's beautiful.
Well, for the next session, I'm going to dive in, into the client series and so on. So,
a good one.
Yeah. I'm going to be messaging quite a few people, and seeing like if they're okay to like talk about it, or maybe even if they want to join us. Yeah, I think that'll be awesome. But I'm so excited to talk about this.
And so much to come, isn't there?
Yeah, very exciting.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So, what's the sign off for today? What do you think?
Ooh, a new one for the day.
Stay healthy. What is it that you said? It was like, do
do upon others as you like to do upon yourselves.
Yeah.
You clean that up a bit. do upon others as you would like to be done upon yourself.
Yes, what a lovely note. Yeah,
Notes to live by.
yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and Adam, thanks again for everything, man.
Thanks for having me, Alexi. It's a wonderful time. I like these talks not just because it's the podcast, but because I just get to spend a couple hours chatting with you.
Oh,
It's just so nice.
my heart's melting. Yeah, well, I think we're going to movies tomorrow anyway, so I think I'll spend more time.
Date it if you want to send me.
Yeah.
Very excited. All right.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, and Benny, Vidi, Amabi. Peace out.